Hi, welcome to Totally Beads. I want to take you through a little festive twist that I've put on the Totally Beads spiral staircase kit. Now we've got these available on the website, $11.99, and they make the most stunning necklace. This is a really beautiful, intricate necklace, but a very simple technique. So whatever your skill set in your beading, this is a fantastic project, and all of your materials as well as full instructions are in the sets. So you've got some beautiful bicone beads, some seed beads, but I wanted to show you a little spin that I've put on it. Now in this set, I have just added a Baroque drop. These are available on the website for only 75 pence. And out of the set, I've actually turned it into an icicle. So this is a perfect little tree decoration, beautiful handmade gift for Christmas, and a surprisingly quick make. So like I said, the technique is a beautiful, intricate design, really delicate, but actually quite simple to master. So it's a pattern repeat, really nice and simple. I've added a loop up on the top so that you can pop it straight onto the tree, and like I said, the Baroque drop on the bottom. So I've got a Baroque drop that I can add onto these. I'll wait and see what colours it picks up. I've got my size 8 bicones. Now this is an addition to the kit. The kit for the necklace goes up to a size 6. If you wanted to add an 8 in, you would also get a bit more from the set, but actually even out of your necklace kits, you would be able to get about 6 or 7 of the icicles. So it's a fantastic value for money set. I've also got my size 8, my size 6, and this is a size 3. I've got a size 8 seed bead and a size 11 seed bead, and then obviously my Baroque drops that I'm going to add as crystals onto the bottom. So I've got about an arm span of thread on my beading needle, and we're going to start by picking up 4 of my size 8 seed beads, and then I'm going to pick up 2 of my size 11, 1 of my largest crystals, my size 8, and another 2 size 11 beads. And I'm going to move this down to about 10 to 15 centimetres from the end. I'm going to leave a little tail so that we can attach that into our loop at the end. And then I'm going to come back through all 4 of my size 8 seed beads. That's the first 4. And you'll see that what this will do is create a little loop, like so. Then what we're going to do is add 1 size 8, 2 of our size 11s, 1 of our size 8 crystals, and 2 more size 11s. So you'll see that really the pattern is almost exactly the same. And then I'm going to miss my last bead. I'm going to go through 3 of the seed beads that I already have on my row. And then once I've done that, and your first couple of steps are a little bit harder to hold on to because you don't have a built-up established beadwork to hold on to. You can hold this tail, wrap it around your fingers, and then that will open up all of your beadwork. So I've gone through 3 of the beads that we had already added in the previous round, and then I'm also going to go through the size 8 that I have added in my last step. So I'm still going through, and each time going forward, you always want to be going through 4 size 8s, and that will be 3 from the row that you are working on, and the last one, the 4th, will be the new one that you add. So going forward now, our step is going to be exactly the same. 1 size 8, 2 size 11s, your crystal, and 2 size 11s. And then we will go through 3, so it's always the last 3. So actually that's made up of the last one that you have added. So we'll go through these 3. And then just like I said, your 4th one will always be the one that you have just added in your previous pattern. So I like to go through 3 first, and then I'll go through that last one. Now what you'll see is that we're starting to create a spiral. So this is the spiral staircase, and this is the only thing you really need to know about the pattern. I'm going to continue doing this until I've used up 6 of my size 8 bicones, and we'll get a lovely effect up at the top. The only thing you want to make sure of is that you're always adding your cluster in the right position. So I always like to keep them flat like so that I can see the beads that I need to be going through, and that way it's going to be adding my next loop always in the right place. So again, same pattern repeat, 1 size 8, 2 size 11s, your crystal, and 2 size 11s. And we'll go through the last 3 seed beads in my row. And until you start to get a longer length established, you might find it a little bit trickier, but bear with it. Just squeeze that needle through those holes. And you can do it bead by bead if needs be. You don't have to do it all in one pass. But you can see that I'm still going to allow my cluster, my new row, to sit in the right place. So I've only gone through 1, so I'm also going to go through the next 3. So that will be 1, 2, and my last one there. Like so. Keep your pattern nice and tight. And again, you'll see that we're starting to spiral round. So I'm going to carry on for my next 2 exactly the same way, and then we'll start graduating down. So 1 size 8, 2 size 11s, crystal, 2 size 11s, and we'll go through 3 beads, and just make sure that your new loop is going to sit in between your last one and your first one. Okay, so now I've finished with all of my larger crystals, I'm going to start graduating down to the smaller crystals. So it's exactly the same process, except I'm going to pick up the smaller ones. So the pattern that I've used here, I've picked up 6 of my largest, 9 of my medium, and 12 of my smallest. And that's going to give me a really lovely graduated but even finish on the end icicle pattern. So I'm just going to continue in exactly the same way to the very end, and then I'm going to show you how to create your loop up at the top and add your baroque drop. So you can see that because it's a pattern repeat, you will hopefully get the hang of it as you work. You'll start to get better and better at it, and you can see that it's starting to spiral already. And as we start adding the next layer, you'll really see it come to shape. Okay, so as you can see, it's really starting to come together. And if you just trust in the process and keep on repeating the steps, you will see that you end up with this gorgeous spiral, really effective. And because we're graduating the size of the bicones, it fills the top of it beautifully. And obviously as the spiral gets slightly smaller towards the bottom with your bicones, you get that beautiful definition. So I've got my last smallest bicones to go, and then we'll be ready to add a bit of accent detail down at the bottom. So again, same steps, but I'm just graduating from 6 of my largest, 9 of my medium sized, and then 12 of the smallest. And proportionally, that will then give you a really lovely finish. Okay, so as you can see, when you get to the end, it's a lot easier to navigate through the spine of the spiral because you're not fighting with the larger beads, so that you can get in and actually see the spine of it. It's slightly more open until you start adding the crystals into place to close it up. But you can see here, you've got that really nice run of the 3 beads. So hopefully it's a process that you will get used to and perfect and realise how relaxing it is. Now at the very bottom, I'm going to add 1 bicone. So I've just exited out of my size 8 bead, just like we would ordinarily. I'm going to pick up 1 of my smallest bicones. I'm then going to pick up 3 of my seed beads, and just deciding which colour to put on the bottom. I think we'll go for the slightly lighter one. Pick up 3 of your seed beads, go through your Baroque crystal, pick up another 3, and you could even add teardrops or something else to the end if you wanted to change the shape. You could make matching sets and use different crystals for all of them. They're sold individually, so it's entirely up to you. And then we're going to go right up the middle of the spine, and this will reinforce and obviously straighten up some of those last beads as well. And then just like normal, we're going to finish off with half hitches to secure. So make sure it's nice and tight, but that your Baroque crystal can sit in between that lovely little loop we've created with the seed beads. And to create a half hitch knot to secure your threads, I'm going to go underneath the thread path. So not any beads, just underneath the thread. Pull that through until you leave a loop. Bring your needle back through that loop, and then you can pull that knot down and you will see it disappear and shrink into your work. Then move a couple up and we'll do the same thing again. So I always like to do 2, if not 3, depending on, obviously because this isn't going to be worn, doesn't need to be super strong, but it's going to be used year after year. So we'll just make sure that we secure that thread nicely. And then I'm going to move away from the knot, so just up those spine beads before I can cut that off. So I've done 2 of my half hitch knots and then right up, good centimetre or so, just to hide it and disappear. So to secure the loop up on the top, we're going to do a simple little loop just using some of our smaller bicones and our smaller seed beads. So I'll just thread my tail onto my needle and then we'll be ready to finish. Okay, so I'm exiting from my size 8, just like we did down at the bottom. I'm going to pick up 5 seed beads, and that's my size 11s, 1 bicone, another 5 seed beads and a bicone. And then just up at the top, I want to give a little bit more detail, and I would like my top bead to be a bicone. So I'm only going to pick up 2 and a bicone, and then another 2 and a bicone. And then I'm going to add 5 again, and a bicone, and once more. 5 seed beads. And then when I loop this around, that's going to give me a really lovely finish and a nice focal point up at the top, which will be visible once it's on your branch of your Christmas tree. So I'm going to come down a few of my beads exactly like we have just done to secure our crystal down at the bottom. Now, if you're struggling to get in between the larger crystals, then you can always come up one of the little spines. So I've come up 2 of my size 11 beads. So this is one of the loops that attach our crystals to the outside. And again, under that thread path, probably left my tail a little bit short on this bit, but we'll get away with it. Underneath, through that loop, and then just make sure that you're pulling it without catching any of your beads. And then I'm going to do the same thing. So again, just to secure, you want to come away from that knot, back down into your beadwork. And I've got a nice open space here that I can see. So again, through. Oh, I'll just about manage it with this piece of thread. We'll make sure that that knot is in between our beads. We don't have any beads caught on it. In between those 2 size 8s. And then I'm just going to disappear down into the spine, and then I can pull that out. So there we go. Just make sure you don't have any gaps in your loop before you cut anything off and secure them. We'll trim that off. And there you are. It's a take on our spiral staircase necklace, which I think is absolutely perfect for gifts for Christmas, or of course if you're selling them at Christmas markets and such like. I think they're going to go down a storm.